Hello, Kaaya here. I'm going to be doing something a little differently today. An anime reviewer by the name of Gigguk, otherwise known as the Anime Zone, posted a video about the state of the anime industry over the last few years and how he feels it's worsened. So I thought I might give my 2 cents on the topic, seeing as it's something that speaks to me quite a lot, as evidenced by the fact I only cover songs of, anime. So here goes. Frankly, Gigguk, I believe that you answered your own question at the end of the video when you jokingly said you've become more elitist about anime. Well, you're right. There's actually a huge part that rests on your perceptions and how your tastes have evolved over the years. In my case, I started watching anime seriously when I was around 12 years old, and when I think about those anime that I watched at the time, they all rest in my mind as shows that were, awesome, gripping, well done, the whole package. However, if you ask me now exactly what I found amazing about those shows, then I'm not quite sure I would be able to tell you specifically what I liked about them. It's mostly the nostalgia goggles that are speaking for me. It also is attributed to the fact that I haven't watched these anime in a very long time. Let's face it, when you're a kid, you're far more easily impressed, and you don't necessarily pick up on things that usually would bring down a series, like budget cuts in terms of animation, faulty writing, and the like. Hence the popularity of shows that are sometimes lacking in certain departments. As the years go by, though, you slowly get the hang of anime and start watching a lot more of it. My personal peak of anime watching was when I was, 14 to 16 years old, and I would easily down entire 26 episode anime in a day. But, that therefore made me more exposed to many different kinds of genres because I would just watch absolutely anything regardless of if it was good or bad, or because I didn't really check the reviews at the time. At the end of this period of my anime fan life, though, I was far more ripe on the things I personally liked and disliked. And this brings me to my point. Whether you like it or not, you unconsciously establish preferences and criteria for yourself that become more and more pointy as time goes by. It isn't so much about if anime is getting any worse, so much as it is about you yourself knowing exactly what you want to see in an anime. You say anime from before is better, but that's just because you were mostly exposed to the anime that stood out from that time, the ones that have become timeless, the legends like Cowboy Bebop, Evangelion. Because you yourself were, too young to have been exposed to the anime industry in the 90s. The critical way you are now, I mean. I'm gonna explain myself a little more. I remember reading in a manga written by a veteran animator Atsuko Ishida called My Work is Animation, unfortunately only available in French from what I know. The manga happens during the 80s and chronicles the lives of fraternal twins as they both try to become animators. To keep a long story short, the manga often criticizes the degradation of the anime industry, much like it does now, and that was during the 80s. Another more prominent reference is Hayao Miyazaki criticizing the industry during an interview in 2004 and 2005. This just goes to show that the anime industry has always had its problems, but, this isn't just restricted to anime, movies, video games, comic books, it's all the same. There will always be good and there will always be bad, and there will always be people to criticize the industry. I mean, if you asked me if I thought the anime industry has been getting worse, I'd say no, not really. It's just your tastes that have evolved. The worth you attribute to anything is relative to how much you actually know on the subject. And since by now you know exactly what pleases you, anime fitting that criteria become harder to find. To reinforce my point, I frequently talk to casual anime fans who haven't nearly watched as much anime as I have, talk about recent shows that I don't necessarily find very good, in a way that paints them out as really, really awesome. But they enjoy these shows because they aren't into them as much as I am, and they don't really nitpick as much as me. And that isn't an insult, not at all. I mean, I like certain movies and video games that critics didn't like. That's just because I'm content with what it brings to the table without caring about, the specificities of what makes a great game or movie. Honestly, Gigguk, I just think you become more pointy. But that's also what it means to become devoted to something that you really love. And it's something that, I hope you'll continue loving for a long time. Because being an anime fan is totally awesome. And that's all I have to say about that. I'm just gonna end this review, though, with a small recommendation. This isn't even a request for a review or anything. This is for you, Gigguk. Kaiji by Nobuyuki Fukumoto. It is literally the most suspenseful, hands-down anime I have ever seen, ever. And it's well written and just perfectly paced, if not sometimes a little long. And it keeps you on the edge of your seat and sometimes just shoves you off with its gigantic noses. Seriously, watch it.